Greetings from Peru, Joshua here. And as the title suggests, I'm going to be leaving Brothers Green. This was my last cooking video ever. And I know that sounds crazy, and to me it's confusing, it's weird, it's scary, but it's also extremely exciting and just filled with possibilities. So Mike's going to be taking over the channel, rebranding it, and doing his own thing in the next couple weeks. I'm going to be leaving, starting my own channel, You Enjoy Life, which you can subscribe below, and I really do hope that you come by. If you've been inspired over the years by the videos I've done, if you want to learn more, I'm going to be doing a ton of cooking videos, also music-related videos, lifestyle videos. It's really just a channel to help you find the joy and your passion and your excitement in life. And for me, that's food and music, and adventure and all this stuff. But whatever it is for you, I just want to help you tap into that and kind of break out of the box of the norm. So click below, please subscribe. I'd love to have you over there. This will be my last video. Also, most of my cooking videos on this channel will be disappearing. Some of the bigger viral ones will be staying, but most of them will be disappearing, and I'll talk to you a bit about more of that, how you can still watch them on my new channel. So I'm trying to think about what I wanted to do for my very last cooking video. It definitely brought up a lot of the feels, and I had a million ideas. I have like this long list of all these things, all these concepts I wanted to try to pull off over the years. But recently, between Brothers Green and some other personal life changes I've been going through, I decided to book a last-minute trip to Peru. So I'm down here for 3 weeks, and I'm doing some ceremonies, diving into some sacred ceremonies, plant medicine, and there's very specific diet you have to follow. So what I thought would be fun is to show you my philosophy on cooking, some of the things I've learned over the years that have really totally transformed the way I cook. Also talk a bit about Peruvian cuisine, and kind of just use this beautiful magical land to inspire you to cook something new. One thing that's really important to me is that food never feels exclusive. So even though I'm here, I'm not trying to make dishes that you can't make at home. I want to show you techniques and give you some inspiration. So maybe you can say, okay, well, I don't have those ingredients, but I can still learn something. I can still take something away that is extremely important to me. So I hope you follow me on this Peruvian adventure. I'm going to show you some really great dishes, some local cuisine, some cool recipes, and then of course also my new channel, You Enjoy Life, is going to have a ton of content over the coming months, years, and forever. And I just want to say it's been such an honor. I could have never imagined having this cooking show. The way it came into my life was amazing. It was unexpected, and it's just it continues to blow my mind every day. And the fact that there's so many people out there that have been so supportive and getting messages. I love when people make the recipe, but my favorite message that really touches my heart to hear how much food has changed someone's life. Because it's not just about the dish. It's not just about eating the food. It's about the whole experience. It's about how it makes you feel. It's about helping you, try new things, take challenges, take risks, get better, all this stuff. So I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, and y'all out there have been so amazing. I do hope you continue on with me on the journey. And if you're just Team Mike, then stay here. And if you're Team both, you can follow both of us, whatever you want to do. But it'd be an honor to have you over there, and I'm going to be doing so much more stuff. Without further ado, let's get into some Peruvian cuisine.
Sálvese quien pueda, es dura allá afuera, la vida es eterna, cualquiera lo perderá. Lucha por mi pradera, que es lo que más quererá. Yo no busco tangas, solo busco atmósfera. Mantengo bandera.
So I'm here at the market, just getting some inspiration. I find that every single food culture has something really special to teach everyone. And what I find fascinating is not just showing you dishes that you have to come to Peru or Vietnam or wherever I am to make, but showing you elements of dishes that maybe you can bring back into your own home. Because a lot of times it comes down to the technique and the understanding of food, and kind of using a dish and looking at a dish in a very specific way. Like for example, in Peru, ceviche is one of the most popular dishes ever. And maybe you only have a certain type of fish, you don't have the fish that they have here, but you can learn from that. There's a lot of countries where they grill or they fry fish, and they do that here as well, but some countries don't just take fresh fish and marinate it in lime juice and make this delicious, really refreshing thing out of it. So even if you're a vegetarian, you can use roasted beets and make an awesome roasted beet ceviche, which I've done before.
Alright, let us make some ceviche. And by us, I mean the amazing chef at Ceviche Seafood Kitchen who kind of gave me a behind-the-scene look at what they're doing over there. So he was using some sea bass, just like a nice good white fish. And the whole idea behind ceviche is you want the seafood to be so freaking fresh. So this is like a giant thing of it, but I ended up just asking for a portion of the mixta, which is got calamari in it, it's got shrimp, it's got some sea bass, and he was using a bunch of fresh lime. And he's actually just cutting off the sides of the lime, not using the center. manner where he said it was more bitter. And then he threw in some chilies, some cilantro, some red onion, and mixed it around. And to me, this is like, this is ceviche. I always thought it was that simple, but in Peru, they go to another level. So he was actually adding fish stock right now. He had made some fish stock from some fish bones and I guess fish heads. Then he took some of this pepper, this ají pepper, and he kind of added just the juice of that, as well as some evaporated milk, which I did not expect at all, but it added like a nice richness to it, and kind of mixed that around. And now I was getting excited. I'm like, what is going on? I've already had my mind blown. And then he throws in ginger juice, of all things. It's like, wow. So the amount of flavor levels on this ceviche just were blowing my mind even before my mouth tasted them. I was like getting extremely excited watching him. And then he plates it up and I'm like, okay, cool, it's done, right? Like, you do your thing, you add your fresh slime and all that good stuff. And then he's like, nope, I'm gonna throw in some sweet potatoes that have been glazed in like cinnamon and honey or something. Then he had some fried fish on top, fried yuca and choclo, which is a type of boiled corn. And it was so cool, all the different textures between the fried fish, which you're getting a crispiness, with the fresh fish that's just barely marinated. It's marinated for like a minute in the lime juice and it just starts to cook a little bit. It was so fresh and so good, but having all the different variations of texture made it such a more complete meal than I was ever used to. So, whatever kind of ceviche you can make is great, but give this one a try if you can.
Comfort food. This one's pretty salty, but it's like on the borderline, being too salty, but really nice. I appreciate it's like almost like a Peruvian curry. That's exactly what it is. That's it. The rice is perfect. Just a reminder, oftentimes when you see people eating on cooking shows, they feel obligated, first bite, to be like, Here's the thing though, there's so much going into this dish, so many different layers of flavoring. The first bite, your brain not fully comprehended. It takes some time to really understand. It's like, kind of like friends with someone. Right away you might be like, not so sure, they're pretty cool, but over time you start to appreciate the intricacies. And that's what I'm kind of seeing in this dish here, like this potato. Yeah. Muy rico. Gracias. ¿Huevos? ¿Seis? I just left the market, so much fun. My Spanish is very limited, un poquito. Yo hablo español un poquito. But I have enough to communicate. And even if you don't, food is a universal language. You can just kind of point, say I want some of that. I kept saying the name of the dish, so it'd be like ají de gallina, like patatas por ají de gallina. Basically, like I'm looking for potatoes for this dish. And they understood, and they would point me to the right potatoes. So I was looking for cheese for this dish. Queso por ají de gallina, and they would show me the right thing. And it was just this amazing experience getting to talk to them and find all the ingredients. And I'm gonna make my own version. I got to taste it, so I have a concept of like what it generally should taste like. But again, this is for you to learn something new, try a new dish. I'm gonna go back and cook something and have some fun. One thing I love about Peru are the colors. The colors are amazing. I was just so blown away. We did this sacred ceremony recently in this sort of like really distant, beautiful place. And I was deemed my trail name Rainbow Mountain. It's the real Rainbow Mountain. I just love colors, you gotta wear what you feel. By the way, here, this is where I stayed, this hostel, the first couple of nights. Casa de la Gringa. Great hostel. It's actually one of my first times staying in a hostel. I haven't done much solo tripping. I've done short solo trips, but never a long one. And I definitely learned a lot. What's cool about hostels is they're super affordable. You share a bathroom, you usually get a meal, get your own room if you pay a little more. And usually you can use the kitchen too, which is a cool little tip. Just woke up, we had a wild ceremony yesterday on this really beautiful mountain. And I'm actually feeling pretty good, I'm feeling pretty chill, but I really wanted to cook some ají de gallina. And I had some last night, and it just basically it was like a 16-hour day. It was a couple-hour ride each way. I was really tired. We hiked for miles and miles and miles. My body was like, ugh, but I just really wanted to eat something. So I went to this restaurant and got a ají de gallina takeout just to try another version before I made it. And honestly, it was pretty terrible. But I'm okay with that because it kind of showed me what it could be, you know, and just by tasting it, I'm like, okay, I get what they're going for. This version is not the good version. The other one I had was great, but now I really understand how it's meant to be made, at least like made delicious. Because trying to make something authentic is kind of an odd thing. Truth is, like the word authentic, I've talked about this a bit on the channel, it's kind of a confusing word because authentic might just mean, you know, what you consider your grandmother's favorite dish to be. You know, there's so many variations of this dish, even in, you know, in one little town. So for me, it's just about making something tasting delicious and using the inspiration and hopefully giving you a little bit of guidance so that you can try to make something, regardless of what ingredients you have, that is going to be delicious as well. So let's get after it. By the way, The OA, one of the best shows ever freaking made. On Netflix. So in here I have a whole chicken breast, both sides with the bone, and I'm basically going to make sort of like a chicken stock. I'm going to slow simmer this because I really want the chicken to be like a pulled chicken. I don't want to cook it too much. I have some aromatics, some onions, garlic, ginger in there, and I'm just going to kind of cook it on nice and slow. So a couple things that go on the side, I'm boiling some eggs and some potatoes. I'll obviously take the eggs out first, and I also have some rice that I'm cooking. And then, just to briefly go over some of the main ingredients for this dish, obviously I have the chicken, you know, on the sides with the rice. They also usually just put an olive on top, which I felt was kind of odd, but I guess it makes sense. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cooking down some onions, ginger, and garlic, as well as the ají chilies. So I'm actually not totally sure. Two different people told me two different things, but the ají chili is a very specific chili to Peru, and there's, I think, different varieties of it. So these may be two different varieties, but they have this beautiful orange color. And I actually might just use this. I actually got just a puree of it that I'm going to be blending up with everything. So instead of cutting these, I might just use the puree. Parmesan cheese, at least this is not exactly Parmesan cheese, but it's kind of their equivalent. When I asked them what was the cheese for ají, they told me this. Some old stale bread. What you basically do with this is you kind of cut it up, and I'm actually going to be blending that into the sauce to thicken it up, as well as, usually they use walnuts, but I'm using pecans because I had them. I'm going to blend them up. It's going to make it kind of like rich and creamy and delicious. Alright, saute the onions down. I'll do the ginger as well too. I'm going to hold off on the garlic so it doesn't burn. And once we kind of sweat this down a little bit, then we'll blend it up with some of the other ingredients and then sort of recook the sauce. Alright, these are nice and sweated down. Sweated down. Get it down and sweat it down. Sweater, wetter, wetter, sweater, wetter. Garlic goes in. Just gonna cook that and get it nice and soft. So, gotta get that garlic soft. Then we're gonna blend it up with a bunch of other ingredients. Got some chicken stock from the chicken I've been cooking. And I'm really slow poaching that chicken. Very, very important. You do not want it to be dry like I tasted yesterday. Yeah. Adding some bread. That's gonna make it nice and creamy. This is like stale bread, so it will soak up the liquid really nicely. Garlic, onions, ginger in. Okay, so this ají is really not spicy. They took the chilies out. I just tasted it. So I'm gonna add a good amount. It's really fruity and flavorful. These chilies are just so unique and delicious. And then I'm gonna add some salt and blend away and go from there. Okay. And it's okay right now if it's a little thin. Wow, that tastes amazing. I could have gone a little less in the salt, but I think that once the chicken's all in there, it'll be great. I can make it a little bit thinner now because I'm gonna still cook it down, you know? And fiend, already that tastes amazing. So I got my sauce boiling down. Gonna add in some cheese. Give it a little mix. Oh wow, that's starting to burn. Turn it off. You can always add a little more water, you know, if it feels like it's getting too thick. But I actually think this is pretty good. Again, I'm doing this for the first time, so I'm just really focused on, you know, kind of the look of the dishes that I've had, and also just making something that tastes delicious based on what I tasted. Doesn't be perfect, but I think the important thing is being inspired and making it taste good to your own senses. That is phenomenal. All we have to do is stir up the chicken. Once it's done, add it in there, and boom shakalum. I have this boiled potato I'm gonna throw in. So crazy fact about potatoes in Peru, I think there's over 3,000 or 4,000 different potato varieties. So you can imagine how important potatoes are in the culture here. And this is starting to get a little too thick for me. So what I'm actually gonna do to add more flavor is go in with that chicken stock that I've been making. And again, you can always thin it out. And you can always thicken it out if you have either more liquid or more heat to boil it down. So check this out. Here's the chicken. I just cut off the breast, and you notice it's a little bit under. Now this piece is cooked that I cut out, but it's like so tender because I cooked most of it just like a little bit under, which is good. I can still shred it, still kind of, you know, break it up, but when I put it in my sauce, it will allow it to cook a little bit more without drying out. And this is like the most tender chicken I've ever tasted. Now we add our shredded chicken in. Just gonna do it all. Kind of like, screw it. Come on, man. And we're just gonna simmer this together just for a few minutes. Make sure the chicken is fully cooked. But again, it's so tender already. Oh man, you don't even know. And just like that, we got our ají de gallina. You know, my body's releasing a lot. I've been doing these ceremonies, feeling a little sickness. Sometimes when you're releasing a lot of emotions, your body can kind of get sick. And I feel like this is the perfect comfort dish. So let's give it a try. So I've got my hard-boiled eggs on the rice. No lie, the rice is pretty bad. I kind of messed it up royally for a couple of reasons. One being like the whole water thing. I should have probably just used bottled water. I didn't, so I kind of had to boil it for longer, and then it just got kind of weird. And I mixed it around and got starchy, but that's okay. And of course the olive, which I saved from the ají I got last night because I didn't want to buy just one olive. But that is comfort at its finest. You know, this dish doesn't look super pretty. It's very basic comfort food, but I can tell you right now, it's delicious. You get some of the egg and the rice, the sauce. You know, I definitely feel silly for royally butchering the rice, but I don't even need it. I've been dipping bread into this sauce. So good. It's just funny, the olive. It's like so intense. I'm just not really sure the purpose of it. I don't know who invented the olive throw in there. It's like a Kalamata olive, basically. And so different flavor, but it's kind of nice. Give me some of that potato love. Oh yeah. Remember to eat slow, Josh. Eat slow. Savor, enjoy. And we pause and we slow down when we're eating. It's so much less likely that we're gonna get a stomach ache or feel like too full after, because you're being mindful how your body's feeling. You're giving yourself time. If you just destroyed this whole meal in a few minutes, you'd be like, ugh. But take your time. Notice when you start to get full, your body will tell you, and you'll be good to go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show you how I properly eat my favorite fruit, the mango. Now, I think mango is so freaking special. Of course, you can get it green and make salads of it, but when you get a fresh, delicious mango, it is an orgasmic experience. I am not kidding. I've actually talked to people who've done workshops in eating mangoes, sort of like orgasmic eating workshops. I know that sounds wild, but when you eat a mango properly, and when it's a great mango, it's probably the closest thing you can have to an eating orgasm, if that's a thing. So this mango is super fresh. The mangoes you buy in the store in the States, the ones that are like, you know, all year round in the winter and stuff, they don't compare. I'm not talking about those. Yeah, they can be decent, but like to get a truly fresh mango, especially one that's like plucked off the tree, it's insane. So of course there's different ways to cut mangoes. We've cut them on the channel before. You know, you cut here, there's a pit. But when you're traveling around tropical places and you stumble upon a mango and you don't have a knife, what do? So the first time I went to Thailand, actually the first time I went to Vietnam, we were in this situation. I was like, what can I do? So I just started peeling the mango with my hands. And it was messy. There's no denying that it was messy. I was getting juice everywhere. But a truly good, ripe, fresh, delicious mango can just be peeled back with your hands. And to me, this is the first step in the best way to eat a mango. So there's something primal about, you know, cooking and eating with your hands. I think it has much more of a sacred connection when you're eating food. I always say this, but when you use a fork or a knife, oftentimes it's kind of like this middleman. And, you know, it's okay, but when you eat with your hands, you're actually feeling. So right now, I haven't even tasted this yet, but I'm already getting this juicy, cold sensation on my hands, which feels absolutely freaking amazing. So that is the first part. When you actually touch it, you're creating this intimate connection with you and the fruit or whatever you're eating. And of course, there are certain things that, you know, like a soup, maybe you want to use a spoon. And I use a spoon, I use chopsticks sometimes, but most of the meals I eat, honestly, with my hands. And then I have my mango. My hands are covered. But that's okay, because mango juice in my hands, delicious. Mmm, so good. So now what I want you to do is close your eyes. Smell. Fragrance is insane. You can lick it, you can suck. I know this might seem weird and uncomfortable. You might be uncomfortable because there's like a sexual element to this, but it's more sensuality, you know? And take a bite. Mm. Oh my god, it's good. It's experience. Gotta be pretty comfortable with yourself to do something like this. I wouldn't blame you if it kind of freaked you out or you were judging this. But a truly good mango, it's so good. Oh my god. And that is the best way to eat a mango.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. Honestly, it means the world to me that people have been interested in watching what I wanted to make over the years. I'm so glad to share my passion with cooking and inspire so many people to get in the kitchen. This will be my final official cooking video on Brothers Green, but you can see plenty more cooking videos on You Enjoy Life, so click the link below or click one of these pop-up things to go over and subscribe to my new channel. It's gonna inspire you to get in the kitchen, to live life, to kind of think outside of the box and just enjoy yourself on this planet. Because Lord knows we need to find ways to have joy, especially in the times like these, and find ways to kind of rise above and do great things in the world, make the world a better place, make ourselves a better place, make our community a better place, whatever it might be for you. You Enjoy Life will get you there. And for now, today is my final day in this beautiful, magical place called Peru. I'm sharing so many details about my experiences, about my different ceremonies, all on You Enjoy Life, so go check it out. I'll see you soon. I'm gonna miss this place.